Ka Jingïalang Kynhun Myntri ka Sarkar MDA 2 ha ka khandai tarik urampang arja arpusau kala Mynjur ki jing Pynbeit renti ya ka Meghalaya building bylaws arja arpuai na ka benta ban wanra e ka roi kapar ha ki jaga sor ka jela Meghalaya. Uloong, bayaki ni ki jing Pynbeit renti lale haringkat ki kendon ki balabu da ka Sarkar India. Ha ka ni ka Jingïalang ka Kynhun Myntri kala Mynjur ru ya ka Shillong Urban Mobility Policy arja arpusau ban lawi ki sok kedot ha ka lek kawan ki kali ki pajba nlor kiwe pan. Menteri rangba uloong bak Sarkar India kala mangkat 1,000 crore tingka nak benta ki skim bat nak benta kan ni ki kendon ru ladap ban produk.
Approval that was given to some amendments to the Meghalaya Building Bylaws 2021 for sustainable urban development in Meghalaya. These amendments are being done in line with certain provisions and certain conditions that has been put in by Government of India. Number one, and also to ensure that overall safety of the buildings are there, and also to ensure that the smaller land holdings, there could be more utilization of the land by small land owners, because earlier there were some restrictions in terms of the gap that you had to leave from the front, in the rear, and the sides. And so that has been reduced, and some other amendments have been made, for example, to the height of the buildings that are permissible, and also to the construction of buildings in areas which are 50 degrees and higher slopes. Certain provisions will apply. So those kind of amendments have been made. And the last was regarding the approval of the Shillong Urban Mobility Policy 2024 was also cleared. Basically, this again is in line with the Government of India, where to ensure that the overall mobility in Shillong improves, a policy has to be created, and we have cleared that policy today. And this includes aspects of public transportation, creating more walking space, reducing the congestions, and creating parking spaces, so on and so forth. There are many other provisions. So this policy just gives an outline on how we will approach that. And this was cleared today by the cabinet. But most importantly, I would like to mention that both the amendment to the Meghalaya Building Bylaws 2021 and the Shillong Urban Mobility Policy 2024, these amendments and these particular policies have also been adopted with the intention of also ensuring that we are able to avail the special assistant on capital investment for urban areas. As you're aware, that Government of India has earmarked 15,000 crores as special assistance for capital investment, especially for urban areas. And in that, there are certain guidelines that need to be followed, certain policies need to be created, certain homework to be done. So keeping all of those things in mind, all these things have been done. And I'm happy to inform you that out of the 15,000 crores, we have put in a proposal of 619 crores from Meghalaya's point of view. And we have already received approval for close to 500 crores out of this. And we're expecting another 100 crores to come in after these approvals and these amendments are done. So we are expecting that Meghalaya should receive 597 crores. But even if the 100 crores is still pending, we are expected to get 497, almost 500 crores from the Special Assistant on Capital Investment for Urban in this particular financial year. What is more important to note also is that even larger states like Uttar Pradesh and larger states like Assam also are receiving roughly about 500 crores, which is the same as what Meghalaya is expected to receive. So hence, we've been working very hard. In Urban Affairs Department has worked very hard. And as I said, we are able to get some additional funds for the overall development of Shillong and other urban areas. This is the same fund that will be utilized for things like the river fund improvement that we had inaugurated the other day. We had laid the foundation stone the other day, some parking lots to be created, some walkways to be created. So on and so forth. We have put in a number of proposals for that also. say suppose there was a certain size, plot size that you had, the laws required you to leave about 3 meters from the front, about I think 2 meters from the side, and I think rear also about 2 meters. So depending on now the different land sizes, and obviously on lands which are not on 40 degrees slope, so which is more on the plain land, plainish, not too steep. So based on that, the gap that you leave from the boundary wall to the building, that gap has been reduced. Say for example, for 500 square feet or square meters of land, and below that, it has been reduced like from the front to 2 meters, from the rear to 1 meter, which means 3 feet. Earlier it used to be 6 feet. Now it will be 3 feet from the back, and from the side also it used to be 6 feet. Now it will be reduced to 3 feet. So it's a plot of 300 square feet to 500 square feet. The front will be 2.1 meters, rear will be 1 meter, and sides will be 1 meter. 500 to 750 square feet, again 2.1 front, 1 meter rear, and 1 meter on the side. 751 to 1000, 2.5 meters in the front, 1.5 meters at the rear, and 1 meter in the sides. And these numbers were different earlier because, say for example, up to 1000 square feet, it used to be 2.5 meters in the front, and rear was 1.5 and size was 1 meter. But point is that we have tried to allow people to, the basic point being, I think this is the important part which I would like you to share. Most important is, number one, wherever possible, we have tried to give more space to people to construct their buildings, so that the land and the gap between the boundary wall and this thing is minimized. That's number one. Number two, we have reduced the permissions to MDA to give buildings above 27 meters permission. If the buildings above 27 meters are there, they have to come to government to take approval. So that has been approved. So earlier it was up to 40 meters. Now it has been reduced up to 27 meters. So MDA can only give height of buildings above 27 meters will have to come to government. It's not that we are not allowing, but it will be special permission. So MDA will be only allowed up to 27 meters. Third most important thing which we have said is that any land which is at 50 degrees of slope, no building permission will be given for lands that has 50 degrees in slope and or above. The building permission, the buildings cannot be constructed. This is keeping in mind the safety of the building and all this aspect. And 50 meters is quite steep slope, as you can imagine. So that is one thing. And for buildings that are 40 degrees and above, there are certain restrictions that will be put in terms of the height and the space that you can occupy, and so on and so forth. So we are working on creating a much more planned and more safer building constructions, keeping in mind the different situations that are being faced in different parts of the country and the world, and trying to see if these laws can come in so that it can make the buildings safer in the long run.